So welcome to the list of unclaimed rights meeting for the Daniels Creek Subdivision, Area 55, Book 11. You also see that written as 55-11, either way. My name is Nicholas Yiter. I will be presenting this meeting today. I am a program specialist with the Division of Water Rights, or a team leader. I work underneath the assistant of the state engineer for the adjudication program. That is Michael Drake, and we have him in the chat currently. So he's here with us today. Also with us is some of my team. I've got Tristan Palmer here with me, as well as Jonathan Neenan and Sarah Daynert. So we are going to be, they'll be kind of monitoring, making sure I don't, trip up too much, and then just kind of keeping an eye on the chat and making sure that the, any questions that you might have, feel free to post that inside of the chat, and we'll have people kind of answering questions. We'll also do a Q&A at the end. And so, yeah, just a couple of housekeeping items before we keep moving. Please keep your microphones muted while the presentation is going on. That way there isn't any chatter or feedback. And then, like I said, we will do questions at the end. So if you can save questions till the end, at least your vocal questions, by all means, we will be putting up an email address for you to send questions to, as well as you can type any questions you want into the chat. No problem. So let's go ahead and get rolling. Okay, so the first and foremost, we have an electronic meeting statement. This is mainly just for the permanent record. We're just kind of posting this on here for everyone to see. We're trying to limit large audiences in accordance with the governor's mandates, and try and keep these. And we've kind of found that these smaller meetings work really well over this type of media. So we'll be, obviously hosting this online. This is online only for this particular meeting, and so this is just a statement for that. So now, basically, we have an agenda tonight. Let's just kind of go over a few things. Basically, what I'm going to be explaining, most of what I'm focused on is the list of unclaimed rights, but I will start off with an adjudication process, just the review, go over kind of the basics of how the process works. We'll then go into the overview of what the list of unclaimed rights is, how does it affect you, what is it, where can I find it, how do I navigate it. We'll be kind of going over those things, and ultimately, why is it important. So we'll go over all that. We'll go over, like I said, accessing the list of unclaimed rights, where to find it. I will also do an anticipated timeline, where we're at in the process, what the next steps are. It's pretty short, but I'll give you a little idea of where we're at currently. And then, like I said, we will do questions at the end. So this is the email address. If you want, you can. We will have this email address at the end. Mike Drake will be checking this email throughout, as well as at the end, and I will answer as many of the questions from the email and from the chat, and from anyone who wants to speak up at the end as possible. So let's get rolling. Okay, so the adjudication process has 3 phases primarily. So we start off with a petition, which was started back in 1944, and then the notice and summons and public meeting we did earlier this year. We have the middle phase, which we're currently in. This is what we're going to spend the bulk of this evening discussing and talking about, and then the kind of the final phase, which involves more of the proposed determination process. It's once we've evaluated all the water rights, looked at all the water rights, it's when we send it up to the court and it ultimately gets decreed. So like I said, 1944 is kind of when the people of Utah petitioned for a comprehensive adjudication of the water rights in the area. The extent of that adjudication currently, our main areas that we're working on, we're currently working in the Salt Lake County, Utah County, and then we're snaking up the Provo River up into Wasatch County and a little bit of Summit County, kind of where the headwaters of Provo River are. So like I said, the notice and the summons went out earlier this year. You probably received those in the mail. That was our first mail out that we sent. This is kind of the initiation of the Daniels Creek area and subdivision. We hosted a public meeting on February 10th, which had a pretty good turnout. We had 160 people participate. The difference between that public meeting and this public meeting, that public meeting was more of an overview. It was talking about the entire, what the Division of Water Rights is, the history, and then kind of a deep breakdown into all of the sections. Whereas this public meeting is going to be more focused on the list of unclaimed rights. What is that, and why does it matter? And then we sent out notice to file water users claims on February 24th. This is kind of it's the main document of the adjudication. It's what we spend a lot of time around here talking about, and what we spend a lot of time working on. So this is the primary claim form. This is how you claim your water right. You'll notice we're talking about the list of unclaimed water rights. So it's all of the water rights that went unclaimed, that no one filed a water user's claim on within those 90 days or prior to those 90 days. The list of unclaimed rights we published on November 10th of this year. We had a total of 79 rights listed. So there are currently 79 individual water rights that no one filed a claim on. And just as a disclaimer, I would like to say that as me and my team have been reviewing a lot of those rights, we do think there are a lot of those that are still in use. And so if you find that you or someone you know is one of those people, it's important to kind of pay attention to the next part of this process that I'm going to explain, because if your water right is in use, it's important to make sure that that is not on that list. So we're currently in the 90 days to object to the list of unclaimed rights. I'll explain more about this in further slides, but this is the current period in which you can be easily objecting to this list of unclaimed rights and saying, hey, wait a minute, this water right is mine. I don't want this water right to go unclaimed. And then we are here. We are currently living number 8 right now. So congratulations, we're all here. And then we're also currently investigating claims up in the Daniels Creek subdivision right now. We've had, this summer, we've had, you may have had one of our techs give you a phone call or come up to your property. We are currently undergoing the process of evaluating all the claims right now, and continuing to do so through the winter and into the spring. But really what I want to kind of bring your attention to is really this middle piece. The blue is what I want you to focus on. The big focus of tonight is what I want you to walk away from this meeting knowing is what is the list of unclaimed rights? Am I on it? And if I am on it, what do I do? And I want you to be able to answer those 3 questions. So let's kind of dive into this point specifically. This is kind of the 9th point here is related to how the list of unclaimed rights operates. And it's very important to understand what happens to these rights. So when a right goes unclaimed and no claim is filed on it, and it lands itself on this list, it's ultimately considered abandoned by the court, and it's decreed that way. And a lot of people ask, where do those water rights go? What happens to them? And I'll tell you now, they don't go in the state engineer's pocket or to to an entity or state entity. Ultimately, they end up like the word suggests, they are lost, they're abandoned. That water can no longer be appropriated for that use as it's stipulated on that water right anymore. So Utah has strict use it or lose it laws, and it's important to understand that if a water right is being used, it should have a claim filed on it, and if it's not being used, then maybe the list of unclaimed rights is its rightful resting place at that point. But if you find that your name is on that list, and you do have a water right, or you do use a well or a spring box or a ditch system, it's important to know that there is a process to get your name off of that list. So we're just going to do a quick breakdown now of what the list, the list of unclaimed rights, how it looks when you go and find it, how to read it. So this is the contents of that document. I won't spend too long because I'm going to go into each one of these now. So let's go ahead and head right in. So the first page of the unclaimed rights is the title page, which has a lot of useful information on it. It starts off, you have the district court jurisdiction. So this civil action takes place inside of the 3rd Judicial District Court. The middle piece here is the general adjudication description. This is describing the drainage of where this is occurring, where we are currently adjudicating. So this currently takes place in the Utah Lake and Jordan River drainage, and is the applicable counties is right now we're working through Salt Lake, Utah County, and up into Wasatch. We have the judge and the civil number. Now the civil number is an important number to take note of, because if you do file an objection to remove your right from the LUR, as we call it around here, this is the civil number that you would be objecting to. This would be the case number. So it's important to take note of this, and this should be on any mailing that you've received. This civil number should be on there. Then we have the hydrologic division and subdivision name, as well as at the very bottom, the area and book number. So for this particular case, it's area 55, book 11.
Maybe if I can just chime in real quick, it's important to note
Absolutely.
that it's important to note you've used a sample here. This civil number is from the American Fork South subdivision. Look at your cover page on your list of unclaimed rights, and you'll find the book number and the appropriate civil number.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you, Mike.
They're all very similar. Sorry.
They are similar, but it is important to distinguish that these are different. For this presentation, we ended up using the American Fork South subdivision, so it will be different for each subdivision. All right, let's see. Okay, so for the next page, this is the notice to water users. This is an important page if you find that you are going to be filing an objection, because it has some nicely laid out instructions for you. So if you find yourself looking to object, this little paragraph will definitely help you. And then the next section is the preamble. Won't spend too long on this. Well, this has a lot of useful terms and terminology, how the system works for the adjudication. It also has relevant prior decree information. So it kind of is a helpful breakdown as you're attempting to understand a little bit more about the list of unclaimed rights and the adjudication process as a whole. Okay, and so now we have the location map. So this is the adjudication boundary for the Daniels Creek subdivision. And you'll notice that it includes the Daniels Creek and Center Creek drainages, as well as it follows kind of Daniels Canyon down to the town of Independence is about where it ends. And then you'll notice, I think you can see my cursor, you'll notice that the northern boundary follows 1200 south right about here, and then it also follows the southern half of Heber City. So we kind of include just the bottom half of Heber City in this this piece. And then the western boundary is Provo River and Deer Creek Reservoir.
Hey, Nicholas, how do we increase the size? I see like 9 boxes of small people, including your presentation. Can you tell us how to blow that up?
Yes. So to expand it, let's see.
I think if you click on the pin,
Yes.
if you hover over it, there's a pin, and you click
Yep.
on that, and I think it'll center it.
Okay, that worked. Thanks.
Perfect. Excellent. Okay, so now let's go ahead and hop onto the next slide here. Okay, so now this is kind of the meat and potatoes of the list of unclaimed rights page. This is the actual list itself. So basically there's going to be a full listing of water right numbers that appear on the left. This is a really important number to identify for if you're looking for your right. This is how we operate. We operate on these water right numbers around here, and it's very useful to have this number at your disposal. And because it's going to be on your water user's claim, it's going to be on your objection filing. So if you are attempting to object to the list of unclaimed rights, it's an important number to take note of. And then you have the owner of record. It's another thing that's important to know. This could be your name. It could be the previous owner. It could be the original person who appropriated it. A lot of times it's ultimately up to the water user to keep title up to date when it comes to water rights. So this can oftentimes be out of date, but you do not need to be the owner of the water right to file a claim on a water right. We have an engineer here who likes to say that you can claim ownership over the Brooklyn Bridge. Doesn't mean you own it, but you can absolutely stake a claim to it. And that's kind of how it works here. So ultimately you can file a claim on any right, and it's important to know that. And as you file your objection, you can be just a claimant and update title through a different process later. And then there's the point of diversion location and source, which is important once you kind of get later on down the line, where we end up working on this and refining this through the adjudication process. But and then the very end of the list of unclaimed rights is we reshuffle and make it a little bit easier so that you can look for your name alphabetically. So on the left, you'll see your name. In the middle, you'll see the source, the water right number on the right, and the page number of where it's at inside of the PDF document. Okay, so accessing the list of unclaimed rights. Who received this notice? Who was given notice of this? So we send this out to all water right owners in the area. We send it out to all property owners. We use the most recent tax information to send this mailing out to all of the property owners inside of that subdivision area that I showed you on the map. And then we send it out to all registered agents for corporate entities, as well as counsel of record who have filed an appearance in court. Okay, so where can you find the list of unclaimed rights? Where can it be accessed? Okay, so you can find the list of unclaimed rights through this URL. So you can go online and plug in waterrights.utah.gov/PDBooks/Daniels Creek LUR. And that will bring it right up for you. You can also get hard copies from us. You can come to our office and pay a nominal fee to get it printed. And it's also filed at the district court, so you can go to the district court and request the list of unclaimed rights filing. Okay, so the anticipated timeline. So this is kind of where we're at right now. The important dates to be paying attention to if you're trying to think of what you need to be doing next. I would say the most important things to be thinking about is that we just published the list of unclaimed rights on November 10th. That means we have a 90-day objection deadline that's going to be coming up on February 8th, 2022. So if you identify a water right that you are using on the list of unclaimed rights, then it's important to remember that you need to file that objection along with a water user's claim prior to this deadline. After this deadline, it just gets harder and harder to get your water right back. And like I had on one of the earlier slides, ultimately the water rights go to the court and are abandoned if once decreed. So these are the 2 dates to be keeping in your mind. So what's next for the next part of the adjudication? We will be continuing to do field reviews and claim evaluation. It's been ongoing. We've been doing it throughout the summer. We will continue through the winter as we can, and then we will of course be getting around to and doing more of the larger projects for the municipalities, the big irrigation companies in the spring of 2022. Okay, so who can I contact to discuss this? So if you have more questions and you want to give us a call, you absolutely can. Here, this is my phone number and email address. You can also, this is my team, Jonathan Neenan and Tristan Palmer. So you can also give them a call or send them an email. And then you also, on all of your, there's the general adjudication line, and you should have that general adjudication line number on all of the mailings that you've received at this point as well. At this point, that is the end of the presentation. I will now open up the floor. If anybody has any questions, I can point out where to go on our website if you want to find the list of unclaimed rights from our website. So I will open up the floor to anybody who has questions. And then Mike, if at this time you want to, if there are any people from the email.
Nothing from the email.
Okay.
And my name is Ryan Longman. I'm on the list. So can you help me or point me in the right direction to identify how to start a claim, and then also, start an objection, and then you said we also have to associate that as well with a water user's claim?
Right. So yeah, when it comes to filing the objection, it's important to file an objection letter along with a water user's claim, and those will both go to the 3rd District Court. And so in terms of the process, like I showed you a little earlier, there's a description for how to file an objection. Generally speaking, to kind of give you just the quick and dirty to filing an objection, you can file a simple letter that just states why you missed the deadline. It can be very simple. You were out of town, you didn't see it, you missed your mail. Generally speaking, as long as you supply a reason why you missed the deadline and submit the water user's claim along with it, we've never seen one of those objections get kicked back from the court. So should be pretty simple at this point.
Okay, thanks.
Could you shoot an email to one of our people that Nick had on the prior slide, and they'll contact you and help you through that.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah, exactly. If you want to go ahead and send an email to one of these 3 contacts, we can send you back your water user's claim along with letters that have worked well for our office, example letters that have worked well for our office.
Okay. Thanks.
Totally. Any other questions? Okay. Well, if that is all, then we can go ahead and close up this meeting. I will hit the stop recording button now. Perfect. And yeah, meeting adjourned. Thank you so much for attending. I really appreciate all of you for coming. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call or to send us an email. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Perfect. I think we're good to go.